We have safely arrived for another edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. For instance, today would be a Thursday edition because, according to my calendar, it is Thursday. The 13th day of February 2025. I'm Dan Koontz, your host. Yep, did it again. Another record low temperature. Blew past it. We're at 7 degrees right now, so you can make it 3 consecutive mornings where we set new record low temperatures, and I mean really set them. The old record on this date was 13 degrees. That was set 6 years ago on February 13th, 2019. It is now 7, so you can pretty much forget about that. It was 7 degrees yesterday, which was a record low for that date. It was a record low for Monday, and then Tuesday, and then we're going to do it again today. But this is the last day of the really cold stuff. This is it. We're going to start warming up gradually. Start talking a little bit of light snow for the Wenatchee Valley later on this afternoon and tonight. Not a lot. We're going to have intermittent hit and miss light snow, very powdery snow for most of our viewing area. Not a lot of accumulation, but at least we're going to warm up a little bit to give our heaters a chance to take a little bit of a break. Forecast details are coming up. Yesterday's overnight low in Ephrata was 2 degrees. That was a new record. But leading the temperature parade yesterday, Pullman got down to -10. As you might imagine, that was a new record. Locally right now, the lowest temperature in our viewing area is 1 degree, and that is Dryden. Congratulations to Dryden. One more day of the cold stuff. Forecast details are coming up. Say goodbye to the sun, by the way. This will be the last day we'll see quite a bit of sunshine for a little bit. News, yeah, a lot of it. Busy day yesterday in the newsroom. Sports. Prep basketball in full postseason swing, with the exception of the big schools. In fact, the Columbia Basin Big Nine, they wrap up their regular season tonight. Districts for the Big Nine don't begin until next Tuesday. We'll talk about that. Into the back half of the program, we got Dory Foster, the CEO of the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. They are moving forward. They're going to start building their new campus, if you will, at the old Chelan County PUD campus at the intersection of Wenatchee Avenue and 5th Street. They're going to start that in earnest in March. The groundbreaking ceremony won't be until April. We love checking in with Dory. She'll be my guest in the back half of the program. Mike Minardi's got an opinion, and it's Thursday. Pause for Pets. Luna the dog needs a permanent home. One slide to show for you from the National Weather Service came in this morning right when I got to work. Well, maybe a little after I got to work, actually. I get to work pretty early. Snow tonight and this afternoon. Not much. Pretty light. I mean, we're going to get less than an inch of snow if we really get any at all. We're talking about light snow, light powdery snow. It's going to move through the region this afternoon and this evening, and then additional snow on Friday. But again, not a lot of snow. Most of the snow impact is going to be in the Idaho Panhandle, as you can see, and some measurable snow in the mountain passes. We're just going to have a little of light snow this afternoon and this evening as we finally transition into some more active weather, but it really isn't much. So, yeah, we're going to get snow. Probably not going to stick to anything. For one thing, it's not going to have a lot of water in it. It's going to be pretty powdery snow coming our way, actually off and on right through the holiday weekend. It is a holiday weekend for a lot of people, of course, because Monday is President's Day. So if you get the day off on Monday, good for you. We do not. From the National Weather Service, here we go. Snow. But later on today, we'll have sunshine this morning. Clouds will be thickening up. The clouds are if you've been outside yet today, you can see the light clouds. It's making for a gorgeous sunrise, but the clouds will be thickening up as the day progresses. We're only going to get to 22. For the record, yesterday's high was 24, or normal high is 41. Yeah, it's cold. But notice the overnight low, 19. That's something we can handle. And again, light snow until about 10 o'clock tonight. No real accumulations, less than half an inch, even in the upper elevations for that matter. Mostly cloudy Friday, slight chance of light snow, high of 33. Mostly cloudy Friday night, then it clears out, 20 for the overnight low. Saturday doesn't look too bad. Sunshine in the morning, clouds in the afternoon, light snow in the late afternoon, early evening hours on Saturday with a high of 32. Saturday night, snow, but again, very little. Maybe a half an inch, if at all, on Saturday night, 27 for the overnight low. So the overnight low is going to get much more tolerable. Clouds and a little bit of light snow on Sunday with a high of 35. If you have Monday off, you can go skiing. President's Day is traditionally one of the busiest weekdays Mission Ridge sees. A lot of people will take that day off, and a lot of schools in Western Washington have a midwinter break. They're off all of next week, and a lot of them come over here and ski and I hope they enjoy it because it doesn't look too bad at all. Light snow intermittent Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperature still not quite to normal for the afternoon highs. Again, our normal high as we get deeper into February is now 41. We'll get close to it by Monday and Tuesday, but we probably won't get there. All right, after a quick 2-minute break, what made news on Wednesday? I'll let you know. Although it's Thursday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
High clouds, 7 degrees. In the Wenatchee Valley, about 23 for the afternoon high. The clouds will be thickening up, lowering down. Light snow this afternoon and this evening. Hit and miss, very light powdery snow. No real accumulations right through the weekend, but a gradual warming trend, and I, for one, I'm looking forward to that. 8 minutes after the hour, an East Wenatchee man who shot another man in the arm last November in a dispute over a former partner was sentenced Monday to 9 years in prison. River Joseph Deshane, he's 26 years old. He pled guilty in Chelan County Superior Court to first-degree assault. Judge Robert Jordan sentenced him to 108 months in prison, plus 3 more years community custody once he gets out. Wenatchee police say Deshane shot the 32-year-old victim with a handgun from his car outside Subway on North Mission. The victim was dating Deshane's former girlfriend. He's been held since his arrest on a $500,000 bond. Well, the fabric and craft store Joann Fabrics and Crafts has announced its plans to close 500 of its 800 locations due to bankruptcy, including that store, the one on Valley Mall Parkway in East Wenatchee. The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last month and then yesterday released a list of stores slated for closure, which includes 21 locations in our state. It is the second time the company has filed for bankruptcy. Joann filed in March of last year, but managed to stay afloat by choosing to become a private company. We reached out to the staff at the East Wenatchee Joann Fabrics and Crafts store, but they declined to comment. The Eastmont School District announced that current interim superintendent and longtime Eastmont employee Spencer Taylor is being considered for the permanent job of the superintendent. The district will host 2 events to gather input on their decision from the community, one for staff and the other for Taylor to meet just regular folk. The staff event will take place in the Eastmont Junior High School auditorium on February 27th. The community event will take place at the same place, the Eastmont Junior High School auditorium, at 5:30 on March 3rd. One new 7th District state lawmaker wants more legislative input on appointments to Washington's high courts. Representative Hunter Abel has introduced 3 bills that would change the way governors appoint judges to both the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals. He wants state Senate approval for appointees to both courts. Right now, the governor makes all judicial appointments unilaterally if there's a vacancy. The change would require a constitutional amendment. Abel is a lawyer and the past president of the Washington State Bar Association, and he says Senate oversight would prevent governors from stacking the courts and help improve public trust in the state's judicial process. His 3 bills are currently up for debate in the House Judiciary Committee. 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse says he's all in favor of tariffs from the Trump administration on Canada and Mexico, but he worries about retaliatory tariffs on Washington farmers. The Sunnyside Republican said this week the tariffs from the U.S., which are on hold until March 4th, are justified by the flow of illegal drugs and immigration into the country. Tariffs levied in return by those countries could start what he calls an unnecessary trade war, similar to the 2018 tariff disputes during Trump's first administration. In that year, American farm exports lost an estimated $27 billion, with soybean sales taking the highest losses. And a new plant program at the Wenatchee Public Library is filling up spots and filling them up fast. Terranium Tuesday kicked off in December. It brings in tweens, teens, and adults to learn about the tiny homes for plants. On Tuesday, the 3rd installment of the first set of classes focused on hanging terraniums. Teen Services Library Associate Katie McNall spoke with us as she set up Tuesday's event to tell us more about the program.
Terrariums are kind of tiny homes for plants. So there's 3 main varieties. So you can do an open terrarium, a closed terrarium, or a hanging terrarium. So that's kind of what we've been doing in our program. So an open terrarium is better for like succulents and things that don't need a lot of moisture. Closed terrariums are more like tropical plants, orchids, things like that that really like to have a moist, humid environment. And then hanging terrariums, it's easier to do like air plants that don't need a lot of care and maintenance, and they don't need to have a lot of dirt and everything that would keep it heavy and pull it down potentially from like your ceiling or blinds or something. We bring people in, we kind of talk about like how you would layer a terrarium for keeping your plant healthy and happy and letting it grow, what kind of care they need, and then what it would look like, you know, when you might need a bigger container than our tiny little balls, things like that. And so just kind of walking through that process and saying, this is what we're adding and this is why we're adding it, and kind of talking through the science behind it as well. So tonight we are doing hanging terrariums. So we're kind of talking about air plants and the common misconceptions around them, because people think like, oh, they're just air plants. They live on the air. They don't need anything else. And that's not true. They do need a little bit of care and love. And so kind of talking about what that looks like. We're putting them just in basic rocks. And so why are we doing that instead of adding dirt and things like that? So our registration has been full for every class so far, which is great. I think last month was our most popular. Registration opened and 1 minute later it was entirely full, and we've had a waiting list. So that's great for us because we want as many people in here making them as possible, but also we want to make sure that if it's something like that where it's clearly a lot of people want to engage with it and are really excited about it, that we're running it again, which is what we're doing with this program. So for the next 3 months, we'll do another kind of cycle of these 3 programs so that more people can get in the door and try it out. We saw a lot of terrarium books getting checked out and a lot of it popping up on social media like, look at this thing that I'm making. And so we were like, what if we do that in a library? And I have a group of staff who were able to test it out with me and see like, can we reasonably within like our cost parameters buy the supplies and make it happen? And we can. And so we're doing it. And I think people are really excited about it, and we are too. For the library to run programs, we have to be mindful that it's tax dollars funding the work that we do. And so figuring out how do we keep costs as low as possible while also maintaining like ethically sourcing materials as much as possible. And so a lot of that work kind of starts it out and then being like, okay, what's absolutely necessary versus fun to have? And so like a lot of terrariums you could add moss and things like that, or like cute little figures, which we have tonight, but that's because we have relatively low other supplies. And so kind of looking at that, like what's our cost benefit for a lot of those things? Like what do you absolutely need to keep it safe and healthy versus, you know, the fun stuff. And then also looking at, you know, what is our budget for the rest of the year? And so we're lucky enough to have a Friends of the Library group that supports a lot of the work we do, especially financially, because I don't think we could do this on $2 a person. which is generally our limit for library-funded programs. And so we get to have a little bit of extra financial help from the Friends of the Library to make it happen.
And now you are in the loop on what the heck is going on around here. And if you want to continue to be in the loop on what the heck is going on around here, we invite you to watch the NCWLIFE Evening News at 5, 6, and 10. That's the air times on television, 5, 6, and 10. If that doesn't work into your schedule, don't worry. It'll be up and running right around 5 o'clock. You can go to our homepage to watch the evening news, ncwlife.com. You can go to our YouTube page. You can go to our Facebook page. We're out there. We try to make our newscasts as accessible as possible, and, well, by golly, it's free. That helps, too. And if you're out and about and you see something that might be newsworthy, you send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. If you're a fan of Husky basketball, men or ladies, you didn't have a very good Wednesday. Sports is 2 minutes away. You're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat. When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
After 60 years, this President's Day is the last and final President's Day ever for Crown Furniture in Wenatchee. We're going out of business. All fine furniture must be sold immediately. Now through President's Day, extra discounts will be in effect store-wide. Prices slashed even lower than our already low liquidation prices. It's the President's Day sale to beat all President's Day sales. Everything is in stock and ready to go. Take it home today or take fast delivery. Our last and final President's Day ever at Crown Furniture. After 60 years closing the doors and going out of business forever.
Sports at 18 minutes after the hour, the Husky men's basketball team led. They led 2-0 after an opening lay-in, and then that was about it. They never led after that. They got blown out by Ohio State, 93-69 last night in Columbus. The Buckeyes shot 58% from the field, including 61% from behind the three-point line. The Huskies traveled to Penn State for a Saturday matchup. The Lady Huskies led by 5 at halftime against Oregon, but the Ducks outscored Washington by 6 in the second half, and that means a 1-point victory for the Ducks. The Huskies will host number 6 USC on Sunday. Women's college basketball scheduled tonight. Loyola Marymount will be in Pullman. Hope they brought their sweatshirts. 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Also on ESPN Plus, also at 6 o'clock, Gonzaga plays in Corvallis against Oregon State. And the Gonzaga men are at home. They'll be in the Kennel. They'll be hosting San Francisco. The Dons in Spokane. 8 o'clock tip-off, nationally televised on ESPN. All right, closer to home, the District 5 two-way girls basketball tournament continued yesterday. For Quincy and Othello, their seasons have come to an end. Toppenish rolled over Quincy 73-24. East Valley just got by Othello 39-37. In the other games and all the other 4 teams at the bottom of your screen, they all move on anyway. Ellensburg remains undefeated. They defeated Grandview. Prosser rolled over Sela, but all 4 of those teams advanced. The District 5 1B boys tournament scoreboard for Pateras and Aniat. Their seasons came to an end. Cascade Christian Academy eliminated Pateras. They move on. Wilson Creek moves on with a 2-point victory over Aniat. Prep girls basketball, as I mentioned at the top of the show, this is the final regular season day of the Columbia Basin Big Nine. The Wenatchee Panthers will host the Davis Pirates, undefeated in league play. The Pirates are 5:30 tip-off there. Eisenhower plays Welcome to Eastmont at 5:30. That's a big game for seeding in the districts, and Moses Lake travels to Sunnyside again. A 5:30 tip-off. And then the boys' schedule, just like the girls' schedule, just a little bit later. Davis and Wenatchee at 7 o'clock. Eastmont and Eisenhower at 7 o'clock. Sunnyside welcomes Moses Lake boys at 7 o'clock. The District 5 1A girls basketball tournament continues. This is all double elimination, so even if you lose, you're not done. Number 6 Royal will be at number 3 Cashmere tonight at 6 o'clock. Number 2 Natchez Valley welcomes number 7 Cascade to town at 6 o'clock. Wapato will host number 5 Chelan at 6 o'clock, and the same tip-off for number 8 Keona Benton and number 1 Zilla at 6 o'clock. Again, that is a double elimination tournament. Not so with the District 5 2B girls basketball tournament for Kittitas and Tonasket and Tri-City Prep against Lake Roosevelt. These are loser-out games. If you win, you continue. If you lose, you don't. That's 4:30 for Tonasket and Kittitas, 7:30 for Lake Roosevelt and Tri-Cities Prep. Mabton and Okanagan will tip off at 7:30. That is not a loser-out game, and those games will be held in Moses Lake. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 21 minutes after the hour. 6 obscure holidays on the agenda if you are so inclined to celebrate National Natural Day. You can do it. It's Kiss Day, the day before Valentine's Day. I don't know why. National Tortellini Day. I can go for that. National Cheddar Day. It's World Radio Day. I got my start in radio. You'd think I'd do that, but I'm not in radio anymore. But no, today is National Get a Different Name Day. If you don't like your name, today is the day to change it. Of course, for the vast majority of everybody everywhere, you're born. Your parents give you your name, 1, 2, or both of them combined, and then we don't have any input of whether we actually like the name or not. I know some people who don't use their name. They either use a nickname and nobody really knows what their legal name is, or they just don't even use their first name. They ditch it for their middle name. Names have changed a lot in recent years. In 2021, just 4 years ago, the name David was the 30th most popular name in the U.S. In 1971, it was the 3rd most popular. What happened to that? The most popular boy names 30 years ago, number 1 Michael, number 2 Christopher, number 3 Matthew. They're not even in the top 10 now. 30 years ago, the most popular girl names were Jessica, Ashley, and Emily. None of those are even in the top 10 anymore. There are they estimate, about 5,000 people in this country whose first and last names are exactly the same, like Edward, or Ralph, or John. I'm glad I don't have that problem. Top 5 names currently among babies when you're born for girls. The top 5 names right now this morning: number 5, Sophia; number 4, Amelia; number 3, Charlotte; number 2, Emma; and number 1, Olivia. And the 5 most popular boys' names of the last couple of years: number 5, Elijah; number 4, James; number 3, Oliver; number 2, Noah; and number 1, Liam. So if you don't like your name, change it. This is America. You can go petition the court, go to court, change your name. You can call yourself whatever you want. I'm sticking with Dan because I've had the name for 60 years and I wouldn't know what to do without it. It's 24 minutes after the hour. Today in history. February 13th, 1935, 90 years ago today, a jury in Flemington, New Jersey finds Bruno Hampton guilty of the 1932 kidnapping and murder of the Lindbergh baby, the first child born to Charles and Anna Lindbergh. The Lindbergh baby was kidnapped on March 1st, 1932, so 3 years earlier. His body was found nearly 2 months later. Most contemporary historians and experts agree that, in fact, Bruno Hampton did, in fact, kidnap the baby, but accidentally killed it. Didn't mean to kill it. Didn't mean to kidnap it for money, but somewhere along the line something went wrong. Bruno Hampton was hung a few months later. Always love a good Spiro Agnew story. February 3rd, 1971, 54 years ago today. Teeing off on the first hole of the opening round of the Bob Hope Desert Classic in Palm Springs, Spiro Agnew, the Vice President of the United States, was playing with Bob Hope, Willie Mays, and the pro, Doug Sanders. Spiro Agnew slices his very first tee shot of the tournament into the gallery. He hit a 66-year-old man and his wife. He took time, he visited the injured couple, he apologized, signed a couple of autographs, returned to the tee box, and he shanked his next drive into the gallery, hitting an elderly woman in the ankle who had to be sent to the hospital for x-rays. So if you're keeping track, that's 2 shots, 3 spectators, and that was just on the first hole of the first day of the first round of the tournament. I'm assuming he got better than that. And finally, 46 years ago today, I remember this huge windstorm strikes the Puget Sound area, so much so that a half-mile long section of the Hood Canal Bridge sinks to the bottom of the Hood Canal. It goes. The pressure of the winds and the waves kept hammering away at the bridge. The bridge began to list back and forth. Of course, they have the pontoons that keep it afloat. The lids on top of the pontoons were discharged. The water got in, and the ship went down. The original bridge, I should say, the original bridge was built in 1961. By the way, nobody was killed. When they realized something was wrong, they got everybody off the bridge. The original bridge, which sunk on this date in 1979, built in 1961. It took 3 years and over $140 million to rebuild the lost bridge. In the meantime, they reestablished ferry service, which used to be there until 1961. The only problem is the State Department of Transportation didn't own the land where the ferry docks used to be on either side of Hood Canal. They had to go buy the land again and build new docks. Down it goes 46 years ago today. Now they have it so it can't sink, it can retract. Birthdays. We normally don't do first ladies, but we're going to make an exception for Bess Truman. She was the first lady and the wife of Harry Truman. She is the longest lived first lady in this country's history. She lived 97 years, 247 days. She was born this day in 1885, died in 1982. She had the nearly impossible task of succeeding Eleanor Roosevelt as First Lady. She didn't like the social and political life in Washington. She went back to her home in Independence, Missouri, to visit her mother as often as she possibly could. Harry Truman was eligible to run for the presidency again in 1952. He considered it. Margaret said, "You run for president again in 1952, I'm going to go back to Independence, and I ain't coming back." And Bess Truman's mother thought nobody was good enough for her daughter, Bess, including Harry Truman. I mean, she didn't much care for her son-in-law. Now, Harry Truman was a very good son-in-law. He kept his mouth shut, but she badmouthed the president, her son-in-law, all the time. And in fact, Bess Truman's mother, who was a daughter of the Confederacy, when she visited her daughter and her son-in-law in our nation's capital, she refused to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom. She said, "We don't think much about Lincoln, where I come from." Bess Truman, born in the state in 1885. Robert Jackson, the 82nd Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, born in the state in 1892. Very unique claim to fame. He is the only person in history to serve as Solicitor General of the United States, Attorney General of the United States, and on the Supreme Court. And he is the last Supreme Court justice who did not earn a law degree. The president can appoint anybody he wants to the Supreme Court. You don't need a law degree. He was the last one who did not earn a law degree. And finally, Mike Krzyzewski is 78 years old today. His 7 national championships with Duke, his 2nd all time. And of course, he has more wins than anybody in Division I men's college basketball history. He is 78 years old today. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. The Cash for Clunkers program is out there. You might want to take advantage of it, especially if your HVAC system is a little old and a little tired. Get a hold of Alpine Air. Still to come, a conversation with the CEO of the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. Those kids are smoking hot right now, and they're getting ready to build their brand new campus. Dory Foster joins me, but Luna the dog needs a permanent home. It's Pause for Pets.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, Animal Care Manager here. And today I want you to meet our beautiful girl, Luna. Luna is our 2-year-old. We think Shepherd Husky mix. And she's got beautiful white ears and she's so soft. Luna came to us as an owner surrender about 2 months ago. She's found my treats. Hi. Her owners were unfortunately had to move to a place where they couldn't take her with them, so they brought her to us. And she actually also came with 2 puppies. They were kind of older puppies, and they've since found really great homes, but we still have their mama here who needs her home. Yes, and she did a really good job with them. They're very polite, sweet puppies. Yes, but now you need a spot too. Luna is really easy on leash. She loves her walks. She's a very polite girl. Because she's an owner surrender, we do have a little more information on her. They told us that she's not great with cats, so it's good to know that right away. Yeah, and she can be a little selective with other dogs. She has some good friends, and then some other dogs she just doesn't really care for. But she's a really just solid, calm girl. She's really treat motivated. She loves my hot dogs and cheese. And she knows her sit really good. She offers that right away. And she's learning some other stuff. Yes. She's just so eager to please. And she just wants to be with people all the time. Yes. And she's loving this weather with her thick coat. Yeah, it's just perfect. Luna has been spayed, and she has all of her vaccinations, clean bill of health, microchipped like all of our dogs are here. And yeah, we'd really love to find her a home. So if you'd like to come meet Luna or any of our dogs here, we are open from 12:30 to 6, Thursday through Tuesday, or you can opt to come in on Wednesday with an online appointment.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, you know these commercials for fast food, Subway, Burger King, Jersey Mike's, you know, the way their sandwiches look in the commercials are amazing, aren't they? Makes your mouth water, and you want to run right out and order one. And when you do, and you take it out of the packaging, it looks like something your Aunt Bertha sat on. And now you wonder, my gosh, is this the same thing I saw advertised? Now look, I know it's okay. I know it's fast food. And I know, yeah, they spend lots of time and money setting up their ads, not time that they spend when they put the sandwiches together at the restaurant. But man, at least try to make the sandwich look like the advertisement. I mean, Do you want me to come back or not? You know, how much disappointment am I supposed to live with? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Make your home your winter escape with Boswell's. Right now, save 10% on all qualifying recliners and ottomans, sofas, and home office chairs. Or save $400 on any motorized stressless power recliner. Plus, save $200 on 4 stressless dining chairs designed to follow your body's every movement. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
At Kennedy Group, we understand that buying and selling is more than a transaction, and it's more than just a house. This is where you will gather with friends and family, and where a lifetime of memories will be made. But buying a home is more than memories. Oftentimes, it's your biggest financial decision. The agents at Kennedy Group understand this and provide real estate advice based on your goals and dreams. Call us today, and let's find your happy place.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. With durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all. You need the Kubota construction lineup. Right now, write it off the lot and write it off your taxes for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $4,000.
It's fun to talk to Dory Foster.
Oh, no.
I can't sing any more than that because then we would have to pay royalties to the authors of YMCA by the Village People. Dory Foster is back on this program. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. We have a lot of things to talk about, Dory. First of all, it's good to see you.
Thanks.
Again, we're going to make this kind of a regular deal with Dory, maybe like on a quarterly basis. We missed the fourth quarter, but your fourth quarter was kind of quiet, and now you're in the first quarter and things have ramped back up again. A lot of news to touch on. First of all, this incredible funding for the youth programs, which is really the backbone of the entire YMCA. The Steve Ballmer Group. Steve Ballmer was the CEO and president of Microsoft, no longer with the company, but he's got a bunch of money and he's in the process of setting up a foundation and giving it away.
Yes.
We got this really cool press release last month. Talk about this. Is really good.
Yeah, so the State Alliance of YMCAs, the Washington State Alliance, there's 14 associations across the state, 61 branches. We're one of those 61 and one of those 14 associations. And we collectively 2 years ago started the conversation with the Ballmer Group to see if we could get funding. If we would, their filters are intense. So the fact that we were able to get it for all of us, so each one of us has a piece of that pie. Out of the $20 million that went to the State Alliance from the Ballmer Group, RY got $460 some odd thousand to be spread over consistently over 3 years. And the hope and goal from the Ballmer Group is just that we increase our intentions and our outreach and our impact to low-income youth. So how we do that, it's up to us. And so they're taking the numbers from 2022 and hoping now in 2025 we can extend that by 10% and then exponentially. And in the meantime, in the 3 years, we're also working on platforms to be able to plug in our numbers really easily, because it's not what they're asking for is very challenging for all of us because we all use different platforms. So we'll be working on that, and more importantly, being able to, no doubt about it, we'll be able to serve more kids. So. Yeah.
So you mentioned the Ballmer Group. The initial vetting process was pretty intense, but once you got selected, here's your money, and here is your parameters, and do whatever you think is best for your community.
Correct.
Every
Correct.
community is different. Do you have to check back with them and say, this is what we did?
I think we do at a state level. Here's the progress we've made. Here are some bright spots along the way. We are just literally getting our feet underneath us on what this possibly could be. So beyond what we're already currently doing, and they like what all of our Ys are doing, we want to be able to take it to the next level. So, we doubled down a couple years ago on our youth development section, right? So healthy living, youth development, social responsibility, and wanted to help the community with giving more opportunities for young teens, that middle school kid. And when all of our young kids, our elementary kids, left our building, and now we serve the 400 in our after-school programs, it allowed the opportunity to look at what do we do for our teens. So we call it our middle school initiative. And currently, right now, every middle school student who wants one has a free teen center program fee, right? It's free. Just walk in the door. We'll figure it out. And then on top of that, we also now have a teen center in East Wenatchee.
This is big news because you did have teenagers from East Wenatchee who were using your facilities after school, many of them just out of pure necessity, but the East Wenatchee teenagers had to come to your main campus to do it, and now this is much more convenient.
Yeah, it's right next to the school in partnership with Trinity Methodist Church, so the kids walk over. We originally had them sign because we did get a grant that said let's expand this, so we wanted them to register, but now we're going to just open it up. Just come in, come as you are, come for whatever. So we have homework help, we have programs, we have curriculum, we have, but basically it's also just a place for kids to stop in after school.
And
right?
have some fun too.
And have some fun, right. So
you mentioned it very importantly, over 400 kids you're serving.
Mm-hmm.
How do these kids, regardless of their age, who participate in the after-school programs put on by the Y, how do they end up on your radar? How do you know who they are and how do they?
It's right through the school district. So the school districts is our main partner in everything that we do for youth development. So Eastmont and Wenatchee school districts, they, when the kids register for school for the next following year, they will say our after-school programs are through the YMCA. If your child goes to Washington or if they go to Lincoln or anywhere in between, we'll bus the kids to the program sites that the YMCA is managing and go from there. So it's super easy. And because it's state licensed, we can fulfill that promise that nobody's turned away due to financial inability. So the state will actually pay for parents that qualify. Not the problem, but, and I wrote about this a couple months ago, the situation right now with the state is, although they're reimbursing us to our expenses, there's so many families that, well, I don't qualify, or that's not for me, but they've raised the standard of the maximum family income to qualify. So really parents just need to just put it out there. Go and see if you qualify. The state's goal is to make sure that nobody is paying more than 7% of their family household income on child care. Some infant care is very expensive. On the west side, infant care can run anywhere between $2,500 to $3,000 a month.
That's a lot of money.
Right? We're charging, I think it's $1,000 for infants because it's such a short ratio, and then $900, $800 depending on the age of the kids. So we feel like that's reasonable, but that's a lot of money for a young starting family. But again, if they just ask the state, do I qualify for this household income? We have the scale, you can see it right up front. So there's this disparity, I think, with awareness and the opportunity and maybe a little bit of pride, right? So we're hoping to help close those gaps too. But that's how we get our kids in our programs.
I have a lot of family members, friends who are educators at the junior high and high school level. And they tell me, and you are familiar with this because your program is a refuge. There are kids, an alarming number of kids, middle school and high schoolers, who don't want to go home at the end of the day because their home life is not pleasant. They just don't want to go home.
Yeah.
And they find just hanging around at school or reading a book or just not going home or going to your facility is something that they need to do because going home is not what they want to do.
Well, I tell you, and a lot of kids don't want to go home. Just it's boring, whatever, they sit on the screens. But 2 kids in particular, brothers, came for 2 or 3 years for our program. They've aged out now. And we found out after the fact that they were here every day after school from an abusive parent, step-parent, and broke our hearts, of course, when we found out afterwards. But we were so grateful that we were there for them, right? So we don't know what we don't know, and I'm just I'm glad we can keep the doors open, and the Balmer Group helps us do that.
Yeah. Let's get an update on the Building What Matters campaign. If you've been anywhere near the intersection of 5th and North Wenatchee Avenue, you know what's going on. It's been quite a transformation. It's going to be a beautiful campus when it's all said and done. Where are we sitting now? I think a little over $22 million in the bank?
Over $22 million we've raised, which is a very successful campaign in and of itself. We have lots of things that are still variable. We have some state money that's pending. We're asking for a legislative spending request right now for this session with House Representative Ibarra and Senator Short. We redistricts through all of this, right? So we got 12, but now working with 7, they've been so receptive and they're as excited as we are. So I'm grateful for that. So lots of things planned, and most importantly, when the last less than a month, what was it, January and maybe a week or two of December, we raised over $4.5 million. So we have a lot of generous supporters out there, and one of those gifts was a grant actually from the Murdoch Trust, so shout out to them as well. And we got our guaranteed maximum price from Absher as our contractor. We got our guaranteed maximum price. It was actually slightly less than it was in August, which was their assumption in August because we weren't going to construction then. But anyway, long short, the board agreed that we are moving ahead with construction in March. So they will be, the team is deploying to the site March 10th. We're going to have our formal groundbreaking ceremony April 10th, and I'm told by the contractors it could be a 16 to 18 month build. So
that's actually pretty aggressive, isn't it?
That's very aggressive, but we have all of our long lead items. The fleet service shop on campus has been a great storage unit for all of that, so lots of big equipment in there that we've already pre-purchased, and so the long lead items are gone. We've got permits in hand from both the state and the city. We're ready to rock and roll. So we could be in the new building by the end of 2026.
And the demolition crew is doing things the right way. If it is recyclable, they've recycled like 200 tons of steel or something like that?
Yeah, and that we weren't even done with that. I don't even know what the final number was, but yeah, I'm really proud of that team and how they handled everything. And everybody was worried about the old timber in the old tech shop. That was all repurposed. So
of the old Chelan County PUD campus, are any of the, you mentioned the Fleet Services building is still standing because it's a great storage area for you right now. How many of the original buildings on the campus are going to stay, and how many are going to be eventually fall to the wrecking ball?
Well, I know that the PUD has they got a contractor now and approval to put in Electric Avenue, and part of the Fish and Wildlife building will be shaved off, so Electric Avenue will go back there. I don't know what will happen with the headquarters. So that's up to the commissioners, of course, but that could be the only remaining left standing outside of the fleet service shop.
Was this like the perfect marriage? The PUD had outgrown their aging facility. They're in a state-of-the-art facility out there in Old Station, and this fell into your lap. You had an aging facility. This is some serendipitous things going on here, Dory, on how all this seems to work out.
It does, but I've been working on this since 2018, so not really, how did that happen? But yes, and my naive mind went in, well, we could repurpose those buildings. We could put we were looking at the service administration building as being repurposeful. But then when our third-party company came in that does this for a living and said, we can't make a modern Y out of this older facility, it's got to come down. But this site was where we needed to be, right? When looking at, when you come down the avenue and having the Y there as an anchor into downtown, it'll be pretty spectacular.
Downtown businesses are going to be happy too. They were very much concerned when the PUD moved out. A lot of them have lunch there or do their shopping there. But with a thriving campus of the Wenatchee Valley YMCA, right there, it lifts everybody.
Yeah,
Lifts
it really
everybody up.
does. Yeah, there's stories of economic development around YMCA's that literally like, let's put a Y here at this location because we have land, right? This is where the land is. There's nothing around, but there's within 5 minutes of something more populated, and all of a sudden everything comes in. You know, whether it's the coffee shops or other retail going around it because they want to use that traffic from the Y. So I would imagine it's going to shift a little bit.
And as we talked about before, when you move out of your aging facility, which is beautiful but completely out of date, and into this brand new campus, you're going to have a huge spike in membership. There are people who would love to join the Y, but not in its current state. You know this is going to happen. This is
absolutely. So if we just use the numbers on the disabled population, so we can get figures from the National Y that dig down a little bit deeper, and we were able to retrieve 35% of the people in a 12-minute drive time from our current YMCA have identified their household as having someone with a disability. 35%.
That's a lot.
It's 9 more than the Washington standard, 10% more than the national standard. So why, right? If it's a physical disability, I can almost guarantee you we're not serving that family. And so we have, with that data in mind, we have really worked hard in making sure that this facility was designed for all. So we'll have a universal locker room, so young families can come in there, use it. We're also for disabled populations where their aide or their spouse can come in and help. There'll be a Hoyer lift and an adult-sized changing table that will take, you know, the Hoyer lift takes you from the chair to the shower to the commode, all of that, and then some. PVC wheelchairs. We're going to have wheelchair sports, colorblind visible lines on the sport courts. The fleet service shop will be used to hold those specialized wheelchairs for those people in need, because navigating out of the van into their wheelchair and bringing their sports wheelchair in is all a little bit challenging, and we want to remove those barriers. So I'm excited for that. So that alone, even if our membership didn't increase from Y to Y, which obviously it will, the populations that we can now serve, because it will truly be for all, which is our intention.
Any other Y-related news? We have 2 other items to get to that's not exactly related to the Wenatchee Valley YMCA, but I have you here. Anything else Y-related before we move on to the other topics at hand?
No, not that I can think of. That's a lot, right? I've been a bit busy, and the team is just like, okay, that's enough. We've got a lot going on. Yeah.
Dory is also this year's president of the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce. Their annual banquet, which is one of the biggest events of the year, is coming up on March 5th. If you're a business, you can buy a table. You can buy individual tickets. It's one of the bigger nights of the year when the Chamber recognizes those businesses that make this place a great place to live.
It's probably, so I've lived in 7 states, and you know, this is the best chamber event I've ever been to. The table sponsors make it, so I think there's a few left, but you know, there's prizes to be awarded and all that stuff, but it really is the community coming out. And last year in particular, I was online with people that didn't live in Wenatchee. They were from Chelan or Manson. They came down for this, and they said, "Wow, we hear this is so great." And by the end of it, everybody's just always blown away. And truly that sense of community comes out in this event, so I'm really proud of it.
There are a lot of Chamber of Commerces who just aren't doing very well right now, the exception being the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce. Steve is doing a great job. You people are out there doing your thing. Clients are happy. Everybody seems to be happy. So again, that's the banquet is on March 5th at the Convention Center downtown. And I circled March 15th on my notes, and I don't know why. Why do I have that written down?
Rotary benefit for the kids. Okay. Yeah, so this year Rotary has picked the YMCA, and of course their scholarships, it's foundation scholarships, to support, and the community grants to have a benefit for the kids, they're calling it. So that is March 15th. There'll be a live auction. There are tremendous trips to be had on the live auction. We have Raise the Paddle that will go towards the YMCA capital campaign. And their hope, Rotary is very generous. Rotary donor individuals are very generous as well. And so we've kind of have, of all the 200 and some odd donors to the capital campaign, we have a lot of Rotarians in there. And you add that to the event and additional gifts that we're getting from other Rotarians and possibly other clubs, we're talking about maybe a naming opportunity. So that's pretty special to have Rotarians work this hard for the kids. So yeah.
I'm not surprised, quite
Right?
frankly. I know a lot of Rotarians, and
Yeah.
they definitely, it's not lip service. It's not a cosmetic deal.
Not
It's the
at
real
all.
deal. Yeah, it's the real deal. Dory Foster is the CEO of the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. If you're ever curious, all you got to do is drop by during regular business hours, and somebody at the front desk will find somebody, and they'll give you a tour. And you can take a look-see and see if you want to sign up and join the Y, and then move forward in maybe a couple of years in the brand new facility that the Y is building. It's always good to see you, Dory. I'll see you maybe mid-spring, get an update on the Building What Matters campaign.
How about April? Yeah.
April it is.
All right.
You have an open invitation. You can come anytime you want.
Oh, well, thank you. I
Anytime.
appreciate it.
Well, it's a long walk for Dory. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The Special Olympics Washington Winter Games returns to the Wenatchee Valley for the 35th year, the weekend of February 28th. 900 volunteers are needed to assist more than 1,200 participants and coaches throughout its 3-day run. From assisting on the slopes of Mission Ridge to keeping score of basketball games, no special skill is required. To volunteer, please visit the website on the screen. When the show started, it was 7 degrees. We've now warmed up to 9. So we're making progress. The high clouds are already beginning to thicken up a little bit. By the time we get to mid-afternoon, the clouds will be large and in charge. If you're just joining us, we got down at one point this morning to 7 degrees. And yes, that's a new record low, February 13th. So you can make it 3 days in a row with record low temperatures. And I don't mean just nibbing by the old record. I mean blowing by the old record. The old record on this date was 13 degrees. That was set back in 2019. So we crushed that by a bunch. But we're done with that. Once we get through today, it's still going to be pretty cold today. Once we get through today, we'll have a gradual warming trend. The trade-off is no sun, warmer temperatures, some light snow. Here are the snow accumulations that the National Weather Service is expecting. As you can see, not much, all things considered. Maybe a couple of inches down in Walla Walla in the Tri-Cities area. Lewiston could get an inch or so. Most of the snow, and again, there's not a lot going to happen, and it's going to be very light, powdery snow. Most of it's going to be relegated to the Idaho Panhandle and far western Montana. And then additional snow over the weekend, Friday and into Saturday, and spilling a little bit into Sunday. But again, very little snow here in the Wenatchee Valley all the way through even the weekend. We're not looking at any kind of significant snow at all. And it really doesn't even matter on your elevation. Even some of the upper elevations aren't going to get much snow. But at least we're done with the really cold temperatures once we get through today. From the National Weather Service, once we get to about 4 or 5 o'clock, right around sunset or so, we could see some light snow coming down. We're only going to get to 22 degrees. Our normal high is 41. Yeah,
That's pretty chilly. But at least the overnight low is a little bit more tolerable. The snow will be tapering off in the overnight hours, 19. The expected overnight low. Friday, we get our weekend off with lots of clouds, probably no snow at all, and a high of 33. That's going to feel downright warm to us. 30% chance of light snow Saturday, high of 32. 60% chance of light snow Saturday night, low about 27. A 60% chance of snow early Sunday morning. Again, very light powdery snow, no significant accumulation, maybe a half an inch on Sunday. And if you have Monday off, not too bad. Going to see some sun breaks there for President's Day on Monday. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Thursday. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.